My intuition is telling me there'll be better days.
What's up, fam? Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my favorite powders. I love powders. I have way too many powders, but yeah, I'm going to be talking about my ride or die all-time favorite setting powders and buffing powders. And I'll go into the difference between the two if you're not sure. But if you would like to see my recommendations and just the powders that I cannot live without, then keep on watching. And if you do like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave. Alright, let's get into it. So I'm going to split them up into setting powders and buffing powders. So the setting powders are going to be the powders that I use to set my concealer. And buffing powders are the powders that I use to buff. So when I'm completely done my makeup, right before I spray setting spray, I will take a buffing powder and a large fluffy brush, and I will just go in circular motions all around, and it just like blends everything together and it gives your skin a nice healthy glow. The buffing powders are going to be powders that have a radiance to them, some sort of illumination, and that's why it's going to give you a nice beautiful glow. And the reason that most of the powders that I use for buffing can't really be used as a setting powder because of the illumination in them. It just don't look right. To make a long story short, if you've ever tried to like set your concealer with an illuminating powder, then you can understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about the setting powders. So this is what I use immediately after I blend out my concealer to set, and I lightly bake. Alright, so the first one that I'm going to talk about has been one I have been using for a long time now, and it is the RCMA No Color Translucent Powder. So this is just an amazing translucent powder. It is great. It will work for everyone, and I love that it's $12 for 3 ounces. The only thing I don't like is the container. It is not user-friendly at all. I have to pour some into the cap, and it's messy as hell. It gets everywhere. But this is just a solid setting powder. If you're looking for really good, affordable, translucent setting powder, I definitely recommend this. Alright, so the next setting powder is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder, and mine is in CUPCAKE. I held off on getting this for so long just because I have so many powders, but I just kept hearing really good things about it, and when I finally decided to buy it, I immediately fell in love. It really is. It's just like the perfect setting and baking powder. I don't even know how else to describe it. It is just perfect. It's not too drying. I have extremely dry skin, so it's very important for me for a powder to be somewhat hydrating as well, so I don't look too cakey, and this is just perfect. Alright, the next setting powder is this Becca Hydra Mist Set and Refresh Powder. If you have dry skin, you will love this powder. I don't know how, but it's like a hydrating powder. That's kind of like an oxymoron, but it is. So it has a lid on it, and it did have a sticker on it. I took it off, but it said don't remove this cap because it somehow like keeps the moisture of the powder. And the first time I used it, I thought my brush was wet. Because it has like a cooling sensation when you put it on. It's just so refreshing and so moisturizing. It's crazy. The only thing I will say about this is I can't use my damp beauty sponge and go in and set my concealer with that. It's almost as if the sponge, it just kind of like soaks up the powder and it doesn't like lay it down. So I just go in with a brush, and it is like, it works great using a brush, but it's almost like the powder just kind of like melts into your skin in a good way. And I think that's just why it doesn't work with a sponge. It just kind of like melts into the sponge. But so refreshing, so hydrating, a really, really good powder. And the last setting powder is new to me, but I have quickly fallen head over heels in love with it. And it is the Jeffree Star Magic Star setting powder, and mine is in Fair. This is just like the perfect coverage. I love the color. I love that there's multiple different shades, and when I put it on, it almost has like kind of like a spandex quality to it. It kind of spreads as you put it on, and I've noticed I don't have to use as much of it as I would with another powder, which is always a good thing. But yeah, I've really, really been loving this. This is more of a finishing powder. It is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder in Fair. Oh, I hit pan. This is my second one. Oh, this powder is life. After I set my concealer with one of the setting powders, I will just put this all over, and it's just like a filter in a compact. It just makes your skin look like so flawless and just seamless and perfect. I don't know how. I don't know if it's voodoo, but I cannot live without this powder. Alright, so now into the buffing powders. Alright, the first one I want to talk about is this Charlotte Tilbury Charlotte's Genius Magic Powder Under Eye and Face. Soft focusing, light diffusing loose powder. And mine is in number 1 Fair. So this does have a slight bit of radiance to it. The Fair color, it kind of has like a pinkish under. Hey! I just spilled powder all over. Alright, so the next powder is the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Glow Powder. I am not a fan of the original Laura Mercier translucent powder. I mean, it's not a bad powder. It's just too drying for my skin type. And I thought that this could possibly be too drying as well, but I have had no issues with that. And this has more of like a gold undertone compared to like the Charlotte Tilbury one. So this will be good on all skin tones. I don't know if you can see, but it is just so gorgeous. I love using this to buff or just to set the rest of my face after I set my concealer. And it's not for the faint of heart. When I first tried this, I swore like I had highlighter on my face. Like, this gives you a glow. It's just a very beautiful glow. I love this powder so much. Alright, the next one is probably like my favorite buffing powder of all. And it is the Laura Mercier Candle Glow Sheer Perfecting Powder. And this is in number 1. This is so, so gorgeous. It is not as illuminating as the other ones, but it still just gives your skin the most like beautiful, natural looking glow, like lit from within radiance. I use this honestly almost every day. It's not going to be so illuminating that you look like a disco ball, but it's a very just sheer, beautiful radiance. And I have one more powder, but it's in my car, so I will just put a picture of it. Okay, it is the Milani Prep and Set Glow Illuminating Powder. Oh, this is an amazing, amazing drugstore illuminating powder. I used this and it is very, very similar to the Mercier Shear Perfecting Powder. It is not like too heavy of a coverage, and it's not like crazy illuminating. It just gives a very soft, natural glow. Alright, guys, let me know some of your favorite powders down in the comments below, and I hope you enjoyed my favorite powders. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.